What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam. Welcome back to another Comically Boston podcast. And on Mondays, we talk about the weekly nerdy news and all of the craziness that happened over the last week. Not a crazy week for news, but we do have some castings, some casting rumors, and some potential castings that I thought were very interesting. So we're going to talk about it all today, along with some posters and a couple other award nominations and things of that nature. We will also be discussing who shall be the remaining members of the Justice League. We know our boy Soups, we know that Aaron Pierre is going to be the Green Lantern, and we know that Isabella Merced is going to be Hawkgirl, or at least a Hawkgirl. She might not be the Hawkgirl, but she's going to be one of them. I think she'll be fine, although for me, I always liked that Hawkgirl and Green Lantern John Stewart kind of had a thing in the animated Justice League cartoon. So that always kind of, I wanted that to see that in live action, but I don't know if they'll be able to do that with the age difference between Aaron Pierre and Isabella Merced. I don't even know if it's that drastic an age difference, is it? Aaron Pierre's 30, and she's 23, so 7 years? I mean, that's not the craziest age gap, but it might be enough that it would be a little weird to see on screen. I mean, shit, Isabella Merced might be 23, but she also looks like she's Dora the friggin' Explorer, literally. If you guys know, you know. But let's jump right into the news, and we'll talk more about the Justice League stuff in a minute. So, we had some posters drop over the last week, and these are going to be what I would call action movies, comedy, you know, comedy action, action adjacent, you know. It's going to be an action thrilling type of movie, and this is starring Jason Statham, called A Working Man, and it says human traffickers beware. Now, I don't think I've seen a trailer for this yet, but this will be coming March 28th, and Jason Statham just on a run of doing these solo action films where he's just a badass kicking ass. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw The Beekeeper, but he's pretty much just a solo dude that just shows up, kicks ass, and then gets out of there. Pretty much what you would think Jason Statham to be doing anyways, but he's just doing these one-off films rather than Transporter 5 or whatever. Dave Bautista is also doing an action film, but this one is from a story based on the author of the Game of Thrones novels. The George R.R. Martin apparently has made this world that they're making into a movie called In the Lost Lands, and this feels like a post-apocalyptic type of world, and Dave Bautista's this bounty hunter, and Mila Jovovich looks like a double sickle wielding, knife wielding woman that's got to get across these lost lands, and he's supposed to be her like bounty hunter, cowboy guide or something. I don't know. I like that role for Dave Bautista though, so I'm interested to see how that goes. Out in theaters currently is Den of Thieves 2, Panther, and that delivered Lionsgate's first #1 box office since 2023's Hunger Games, Songbirds and Snakes. And this was just over the weekend's box office, and I really like Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr., and they're back as Big Nick and Donnie Wilson for Den of Thieves 2, and the way I like that Den of Thieves 1 ended with like a twist, and now they're playing off of that twist for Den of Thieves 2, and it looks kind of cool, and it's apparently doing well in the box office for the first week of January, the first films to be dropping in 2025, so I might just have to go check that out, you know, and comment below, are you a fan of the Den of Thieves movies? But alright, let's jump into that DC news and talk about my DC folks. We got our boy David Cornsweet in a new image of Superman, and just how vibrant that blue and red looks, and I just can't wait to see this film. I mean, we're only like 6 months out, and it's already the only thing on my mind at the current moment, other than Captain America Brave New World that comes first in February. And there's going to be a bunch of stuff in between now and July, but T-minus 6 months for Superman, and I am excited, man. I can't wait for not only James Gunn's story, but David Cornsweet to win me over as his Superman and Clark Kent. Lois Lane, I mean, Rachel Brosnahan's already won me over for Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult, I'm very curious to see how his Lex Luthor acts and sounds. Crypto, the super dog, right? Like, there's so many interesting things. Plus, we know that people like Isabella Merced's Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner. Like, these people are already going to be in this movie, so this isn't an origin story, and we might just get these other members of the Justice League, maybe not in this movie, but we're going to be getting them in time, and I'm just curious to see who James Gunn fills out this lineup with. We know that in Creature Commandos, the DC Batman does exist over there, although they haven't committed to who the actor is yet. My guess for Batman will still be Alan Rickson, at least for the moment. Flash, oh my god, I just want to talk about this for a brief second. Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, just said recently in reports that he believes that the Flash movie didn't do well because the audiences aren't interested in the character of Flash. What? I loved The Flash. I love this Justice League animated Flash. I love Barry Allen. I love Wally West. I love either version of The Flash. If they're done well, and if their name's Ezra Miller and they're a terrible human in real life, why the fuck would we want to see him play a pretend person in fake life poorly, right? Like, his Barry Allen wasn't good. It was just weird and fucked up, and he is even weirder and fucked up as a person, right? Like, so the audiences want to see a Flash movie. They just didn't want to see that Flash movie, right? Like, and it's a bullshit multiversal pulling things in, like Chris Reeves, George Reeves, Nicolas Cage, Michael Keaton. You just threw everything at a wall and hoped it stuck, and then blamed the audiences. Like what is with Andy Muschietti now for DC, even though he's not necessarily associated with James Gunn and his new DC, although he was in talks to be the director for Batman Brave New World, or Batman Brave and the Bold, I think is the name of that movie. But, I mean, I would rather see anybody else do it because, you know, he didn't do necessarily a terrible job with The Flash, but that movie just needed a lot of work, and yeah, I don't know if he's got it quite in him at the current moment. Wonder Woman, I liked Gal Gadot, but I don't know if she'll be back. We did also just hear that Aquaman Lobo, or Jason Momoa's Aquaman, will not be back as Aquaman for this Justice League. He's going to be playing Lobo in the Supergirl movie with Millie Alcock, so I'm kind of excited to see that movie as well. That should have gone into filming today, actually, so that's exciting. Maybe we'll be getting future, you know, spoilery news about that, either behind the scenes paparazzi pictures, or maybe we'll get actual information about it sooner rather than later because it's in the works. And the last one that I haven't talked about here, because Aquaman isn't on this list, although I would like to see him a part of the Justice League. Martian Manhunter has always been one of my favorite characters from the animated Justice League, and literally how he looks right here in this image with the blue little collar, the red, the yellow buttons, the yellow buckle on his belt, the blue trunks, the green skin, the voice, John Jones. I am John Jones, right? Like, it's so just deep down there and low. I'm pretty sure Carl Lumbly voiced him in the animated show. And if you guys don't know who Carl Lumbly is, he's Isaiah Bradley in Falcon and Winter Soldier, the TV show, and he's also going to be in Captain America Brave New World. Yeah, I think that's Carl Lumbly. But I love the Justice League animated show, and it's just really cool to see that we're going to have these members filled out in an actual version, right? Like, and not just Flash, Batman, Aquaman, Supes, and Wonder Woman, right? Like, I think it was only 5 or 6 for Zack Snyder's, right? So I hope we get a very much so more dense team, and I have faith in James Gunn that it's going to be friggin' awesome. But moving on from DC, we do have an image here of Johnathan Bailey from the new Jurassic World Rebirth movie, and he looks very much so like a young Sam Neill, right, from the first Jurassic Park movie. He also looks like that young kid from Jurassic Park 3 that was with Sam Neill, you know, and that kid that ends up they end up saving, but ends up, you know, stealing that raptor eggs, and that ends up going poorly for him. But I'm excited to see this movie. Johnathan Bailey, Scarlett Johansson. I mean, it's going to be hot. Moving on from Jurassic World Rebirth and Johnathan Bailey, it has been reported that Rory McCann, who played the Hound in Game of Thrones, has been cast as BAYLEN SKOLL, recasting the late Ray Stevenson, who passed away in 2023. And I really loved Rory McCann as the Hound in Game of Thrones. I thought he did a phenomenal job, and I love how fitting this is, because I covered AHSOKA. I covered Ray Stevenson's performance. I thought it was unbelievable, and what the future of that character in AHSOKA season 2. The whole time throughout the AHSOKA breakdowns, I was like, hey, this is going to be incredibly hard for whoever steps into these shoes of BAYLEN SKOLL. They have big shoes to fill, because this character, he had laid some serious groundwork for a dope character, and whoever steps into that role really needs to not only give Ray his shine and build on what he started, but also elevate it and push it further. And I think Rory McCann is the perfect actor for this, and I can only picture him with a beard, white short hair, and a lightsaber, and that BAYLEN SKOLL just accent, and fighting style and armor. I think this is going to be pretty good. But Rory McCann, I suggest you study up on AHSOKA season 1 and really see what BAYLEN SKOLL and Ray Stevenson was up to in that season, because I think he laid some beautiful little blueprints for you to take you into the future there. Now ending this episode with some Marvel news. It has been rumored recently that Black Panther shall be recast for potential upcoming Avengers movies, and we knew they were going to have to recast eventually, because obviously T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, passed away, so we just didn't know how soon or when, and I don't necessarily take this as confirmed. I don't picture Black Panther coming back for the Avengers movies other than Shuri. I think she'll be in it for sure. Maybe Namor and Winston Duke, M'Baku, maybe those people will be in it, but I don't picture T'Challa being in effect in like a recasted Black Panther T'Challa until his son ages up, and then they'll obviously recast that actor to age him up. I also picture that maybe happening for Black Panther 3 that Ryan Coogler's writing, and also including in there somehow Denzel Washington. So, I don't know, but I'm totally gonna see Black Panther 3 or whatever that character shows up. I'm watching for sure. And just recently, the SAG Awards, the Screen Actor Guild Awards, and nominee goes to Deadpool and Wolverine for Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture. So is this Stunt Awards actually coming to the SAGA Awards, or maybe even the Oscars? Are we finally getting stunt categories? We should. There was 2 new posters for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I like how we're going to be getting the his homemade suit, and then it looks like we're also going to be getting a red version of the suit, and then this white and blue Oscorp suit, it says. So I don't know what this show is going to entail, but I'm very glad that they pivoted away from making it Tom Holland's Spider-Man freshman year, and they're making it its own universe, and making this just another Spider-Man. Here's another poster. Just consider it a good idea, a good deed from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's me, by the way. I'm Spider-Man, right? And he's got like his little Midtown High, like kind of jersey Spider-Man outfit on. I do like the look of his homemade suit, and like how it got tubes going to a container on his back, and it's just, it's very early stages of the Spider-Man costume. And it also does very much so remind me of that homemade Spider-Man suit we saw in Spider-Man Homecoming. Alright, 2 little topics left and then we're done for the day. Cynthia frickin' Errivo of Elphaba of Wicked, and she is a phenomenal actress. She recently said on a red carpet that she would want to play Storm, and she thinks that there's some very cool possibilities with this character to explore her abilities and her background and her trauma and, you know, all that complicated natures of this character. Plus, she's really fucking powerful. You know, she's like an Omega level threat, Storm. So if we're not bringing back like a Halle Berry, I think a modern Halle Berry might just be a Cynthia Errivo, although some people don't think she's as attractive as she might need to be Storm. I think she's pretty damn gorgeous, and maybe it's just the bald head. I do love a bald-headed woman. I do also love a brown-skinned woman, a chocolate-loving man I am. So comment below, what are your thoughts? Do you think Cynthia Errivo would play a good Storm? And then the last topic of today is just a rumor, but I want to talk about it anyways because I am very excited to eventually get a World War Hulk movie and Mark Ruffalo get his fucking actual chance to be the star of the show and be the solo guy running this movie instead of just being a piece added on to these movies, you know? Like, I've always felt like throughout the MCU, Hulk has been like a second fiddle. He could be the fucking star of the show. So a World War Hulk movie, maybe bringing Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in there to have a quick fight or two would be sick. But the potential director that would be rumored for this is going around to be George Miller of Mad Max and of Furiosa and of Mad Max Fury Road. George Miller doing an apocalyptic World War Hulk movie sounds freaking fantastic, but that's just my thoughts. You comment below your thoughts on this and let me know if you would be excited for a World War Hulk movie. Who do you think's going to be the rest of these members of the Justice League? Are you excited for AHSOKA Season 2, Jurassic World, Rebirth, those 2 action movies I talked about at the beginning with Jason Statham and Dave Bautista? I know I'll be watching that. Coming up in just a few weeks here in January, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man starts, and the SAG Awards and Critic Choice Awards and BAFTAs and all type of award shows will be coming out soon, so we'll be talking about those over the next few weeks and months in award season. And we're only about a month away from Captain America Brave New World, so stay tuned for that. And like I said in this video, 6 months from Superman. I'm very excited, so comment below, what are you most anticipating in 2025 here? Thank you guys so much for coming on by and watching. My name is Big Cam. You can follow my other social medias in the links down in the description below. Thank you again for coming on by, clicking this video, and if you've made it this far into the video and you'd like to support the channel further, the best way to do that is by smashing that like button, smashing that subscribe button, breaking that thing, because subscribing goes further than you guys would ever know, sharing this with a buddy, commenting, you know, all those things help the channel. Hit that bell so you don't miss future videos and you get the notifications. Thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Big Cam, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace!